Welcome back to No Nonsense. International week. 2 international games for Ireland. One on the Saturday against Portugal and one just this Tuesday against Armenia. First of all, welcome, Will. Thanks for being here.
Hey, no problem. Glad to be here.
Yeah, I mean, I guess we should start with the Portugal game. We had plans of kind of doing Saturday night or Sunday morning, like on the back of it. It just felt very deflating afterwards. I think we just said, you know what? let's just roll into
we
one
need
episode.
to.
Yeah, we don't need two separate episodes of these things. Because basically, I was like, well, the Armenia game is going to be a shit show. We're going to be absolutely drained because we couldn't put two games back to back. The emotional drainage from the first Hungary game to the Armenia game was like, well, we just couldn't do it. So I was like, well, that's going to be more the same. So I don't want to go on it and be like, maybe we can beat Armenia. Because I knew that I was kind of getting there. I was like, we only lost 1-0 to Portugal. I was getting in that kind of headspace of like,
yeah.
Well, you know what? Like, and then I was like, no, let's just see how Armenia goes first. Because I can already feel the, what's it called, the false dawn. I can see it on the horizon, and it's not real.
No, and I'm nearly sure this exact game has happened against Portugal in the history of this podcast. Did we narrowly lose 1-0 to them before? And I think there was a penalty maybe saved as well. It felt like deja vu.
The ref screws against in 2021. It was who's your man? Southampton keeper. Bazunu saved a penalty against them. I'm pretty sure. But the ref I think it was called Ronaldo breaks record and the ref breaks our hearts or something like that.
Yeah.
There's it was like the start of this podcast. We were absolutely robbed in that game. But I mean, like, it's not that conspiratorial. I mean, we're 2 minutes, 5 seconds in. Tinfoil hats on now.
The quickest start to hat ratio.
But then really, it's like they're not even covering this conversation because what I'm about to say is, do you think UEFA or FIFA wants Ronaldo at the World Cup? His last World Cup? Yeah. Do they want him to go out to Hungary or Ireland? No, they don't want that. No, not that they're in any danger of that, but at the same stage, I mean, I just felt like in 2021 was the same thing, but I mean, in this game specifically, like that penalty, it was bollocks. Like, it was like...
When you see it first happen, like the ball and it's a handball, you go, oh, he was falling and sliding. And then it shows the replay, and it hits the other shoulder to what you're thinking it hit when his arm is out. It hit the one that's attached to his chest. Like, there's nothing he could do. I mean, and like, sometimes you see those where it's like, there's nothing you can do. But this one, there was nothing he could do because he was already doing it. His hand wasn't anywhere.
No, it hit his chest and it maybe brushed off his arm, but it wasn't like he stopped the ball with his arm. But this is the exact reason that VAR is for. Like, it looked like a handball. You go up to VAR and they go, actually, well, maybe this is too much to say we're overturning it. It's not a handball. But even still, like, go to the screen and have a look at this. It looks like it hits the chest. Maybe you, as another professional referee, can decide this. But no, I don't want to hear about it. Because I saw it happen first. And I was like, oh, shite. And then I saw people, I was like, oh, Grant, that's going to be overturned. That's the chest.
Yeah.
There's no way they'll give this. There's no chance. And then, like, you're kind of half watching it then. And then, like, he's putting the ball on the spot. I'm like, whoa, hang on, what's going on? What's happening? Yeah. Like, was this overturned? I wasn't really following it. So I was, like, completely shocked that this was happening. But, like, yeah, you look at it at the replay, or you look back on the instant now, and the ref's, like, smiling and laughing about it. Did you see that?
It's literally what happened the last time we played them. He was smiling and lapping it up with all the Portuguese players.
But, like, the refs now have grown up watching Ronaldo.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, this ref is the same age as Ronaldo. I think he's 42. So, like, he was in school watching Ronaldo playing for Man United 100% in Slovakia. Like, there's no way that he hasn't grown up thinking Ronaldo's class. Like, he's probably part of the reason he got into football and then later on became referee. And now he's reffing the game he's in. Like, it's like, that's not Ronaldo's fault. I don't know what FIFA do about that specifically, but like, they can't be laughing and joking because you're on the same pitch as Ronaldo in awe of the guy. Do you know what I mean? It's and maybe once Ronaldo retires, that'll be the only time this ever happens in our lifetime again. But I'm just looking and thinking, like, he thinks this is cool to be on the same pitch as Ronaldo. He's no, like, kind of referee's arrogance that like a Mike Dean would have to all the players that he managed. You know what I mean?
No, and it was like especially, I think, infuriating. And like obviously we're biased because we're Irish fans. The last 10 minutes where obviously Portugal wanted Ireland to hurry up because Queven Keller saved the penalty. The clock is ticking. Ireland start employing some time wasting tactics. Not really that much though.
No.
The second there's a goal kick or a free kick, Portugal are grabbing the ball, putting it down. I don't know if you saw that clip of Ronaldo where he puts the ball down in front of Queven and he starts clapping in his face like, come on, let's go.
No.
But then at the same I'll say it's like a goal kick and Ronaldo literally picks the ball up, puts it down in the spot, and Ronaldo right in Queven's face, like claps in his face and is like, hurry up, let's go. Like really, really annoyingly.
That should be booking for Ronaldo. You can't be doing that.
This is why it was infuriating. The referee was doing it too. Whenever there was an Ireland goal kick or free kick, it would show like Bruno or Ronaldo being like, come on, hurry up, come on. And then it'd cut to the ref and he'd also be like, come on, hurry up, there's clock is ticking. It's like, what's going on?
Like, again, it's probably just a case of gross incompetence. But when it's so bad, you can't help but think, oh, fucking Infantino was in his ear. He was in him at halftime, like, do not lose this game. Whatever happens, make sure they get a goal.
Yeah, and it's not just the viewer it's not just us, the fans who taught this. I don't know if you saw Seamus Coleman speaking after the game where he said, yeah, the referee didn't really have much time for me. He was talking a lot to Bruno, wouldn't say 2 words to me.
Yeah. And look, after all that, I mean, the goal wasn't anything to do with the bad refereeing decision because, as we said, the penalty, and we should mention it, unbelievable save from Queven Keller.
Unbelievable, yeah.
To think that, like, okay, Ronaldo probably is the first penalty taker, but we did see at Man United that he gave it to Bruno in that case. But at this case, Bruno's like, nah, you take it, man. I'm not, this guy's pretty good, actually. It's saving my penalties. So I don't want to do this. This is an important one. Like the save penalty from Bruno and Ronaldo, I mean, it's pretty impressive from Keller.
Do you know who he saved before that? His last 3 penalties? So it was Ronaldo, Bruno, and before Bruno, Mbappe.
Yeah. Yeah. No, he's the best thing about this Irish team by a country mile,
100%.
Second only to Seamus Coleman.
Yeah.
But he is 37, so I just feel like we have to let that go eventually, even though we keep bringing back in the squad. We just need you one last job, Seamus.
But he was like in the 80th minute or so. I don't think he's played much football this season, but in the 80th minute, he put up his hand and he's like, I can't give anymore. And the commentators were talking like a man who has literally been taking bullets in a war is like, my God, what a performance. What a man. For him to put that all on the line, it was unbelievable though. He really was the star of the show. Like,
yeah, it's because you can't think of the previous 20 years, I guess, think, we've never had any good teams. It's like, we have had better teams than this. Like James Coleman at 37 from the 2016 team was probably around his peak. And he was it wasn't like he was the worst player in that team or anything. He was one of the best players in that team as well. But like the fact that he's now at 37, hasn't played all year, really played a few cup games for Everton. I mean, his replacement is in the Irish team in Jake O'Brien. Yeah. And he comes in as like infinitely like more energetic and more aggressive and just like seemingly more willing or a better footballer, I don't know. And then he runs that into the ground over 2 games. It's like there's no one in that squad who can touch him. Do you know what I mean? It's like the next game he'd probably play again, regardless of what happens for Everton. It's like, well, obviously Coleman has to play. There's no one even close to him as good as him. So like, yeah, the team is at a low ebb at the moment in terms of maybe confidence or whatever. But like, I think just sheer ability as well. It's like James Coleman's by far away one of the best players on the pitch at 37 years of age and not played since got injured into last season.
I couldn't tell you.
Do you know what I mean?
If you told me Seamus Coleman had quietly retired from club football, I'd be like, yeah, I think so.
So yeah, that they're probably the 2 bright sparks of the bright sparks. That's for smart people, isn't it? I'm not a bright spark. Bright spots, silver linings.
Bright spots doesn't sound good.
Bright spots sounds like something you might see in an X-ray or an anagram. What's it called? Listen, we were shite. We had 0 shots on target. We had how many shots in total we have? I don't know. I don't remember that many dangerous shots or near misses. Like, we just defended for the whole game, which is what we had to do. And in hindsight, maybe what we should have done against the other two teams in the group.
Yeah. And to be fair, what we tried to do for the first half of the Armenia game, which we'll get to.
But against Portugal, like, we just defended well for the whole game, which is, not that it's easy to do. I mean, if you and I are in that team, we wouldn't be able to do it. I'm not saying there's no athletic ability needed for it. But as soon as they scored the goal, and we're like, right, we better push for the goal then.
Yeah, how are you going to do that, lads?
We tried it, and then Rafael Leao scored a second. It was like, whoa, careful, lads. They're better than us, don't forget.
There still might be goal difference now.
Just pissed through us as soon as we lifted our head above the parapet. So I was like, we offered nothing, and we would have been probably, not that we would have been lucky. We probably deserved a draw, but I mean, what does that even fucking mean?
Yeah.
Like, if you're watching that game, you'd be happy. As a neutral, you'd be happy that Portugal scored. You'd be looking at one team like just defending, not doing much, the other team trying to break it down, and then they score a goal. You'd be like, yeah, that's how it should be. The best team should win. But from our point of view, the ref kind of fucking us, pushing us, putting us under pressure, and then we can see a set piece at the end when we're tired. It's like, fuck, in the 91st minute. I think that was Ruben Neves' first goal for Portugal as well. So, I mean, he doesn't score many, but he scored one against us. So, yeah, like, after that game, it was like very deflating, I guess is probably the word, because he's like, oh God, maybe we can do this. At the end of the game, I was like, God, imagine if we'd beaten Armenia. That's how I was
Yeah.
already running away with myself. If we got that game.
If we had changed the past, this would actually be a pretty good result.
I was like, this could be 5 points if we beat Armenia before. I was like, what? We're on 1 point, and this would be another singular point. And as it became 0 points. So I was like, damn, if only we had beaten Armenia and drew to Portugal, that would be a really great night.
that imaginary Armenia win, all for naught.
And was there anything else that you mentioned or?
Well, there was the one other thing was it does sound like it. Look, it is sour grapes, of course. But after that game, 6 of our starting 11 were one booking away from suspension because obviously there was cards flying left and right for everything and anything, which did not help us in the group. Didn't help us coming into the Armenia game, and I was going to assume is not going to help us going forward.
Yeah, that's true. The ref was, I guess, he fucked us eventually, kind of poisoned us, and it would take effect, in 48 hours. However long it was we played Armenia, because I think we were out Ryan Manning. Before we get into the Armenia game, as it stands, right, I'm assuming the result is that we lost to Portugal. We beat Armenia 1-0, but crucially, fucking that handsome bastard Dominic Szoboszlai farmed his way into a fucking last minute equalizer, which means that obviously Hungary got a point against Portugal 2-2 on the night. Which also means that Portugal aren't now automatically qualified. So they come to Ireland with something to play for. Ideally, we were thinking, okay, Hungary get nothing for that. Portugal qualified. We then have to beat Hungary in the last day. And that's what it comes down to. And it might come down to goal difference. As it stands now, we're going to have to beat Hungary by a substantial amount, I think. Is that?
Do you remember the first 45 minutes of the game against them?
Yeah. So we beat Armenia, obviously, 1-0. We really should have scored more at the end. Adamita coming on, just like doing his best to fumble the ball in. Like, it was going to be one of those like scrappy, shitty, fumbly goals in, and he didn't have it in his locker just to get that ball over the line. The goal he was making unbelievable saves, I will say that.
Yeah, unbelievable. And it's funny because first half was, like you said, okay, maybe, you know what, let's go back to being defensive. That seemed to work for Portugal. But it seemed like, maybe that'll work. Maybe if we do that against Armenia, we're so defensively solid, and then, we get them on the break. But what ended up happening was we played 5 at the back against Armenia in Dublin. We didn't have a shot on target for 45 minutes. They had all of the ball. It was crazy to watch. We were giving them... The first time we gave them absolutely no respect, and this time we gave them way too much.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't have minded that if we just done that for the other two games, but it's too late now. You're closing the game after the horse is bolted. We need to win this game. Like, we're in a situation now where we can't just like draw and maybe catch them on the break. If that's what your plan was, if you were Hallgrimsson, you looked at this analytically and said, right, listen, lads, I know the team, I know the players, and you're not good enough. 5 at the back, keep it tight, no messing.
Let's draw our way to a World Cup.
We'll get points on the board, and when the opportunity arises, then we strike. But to go out and just concede 2 goals against Hungary in the first game and come back and then, go to Armenia and concede another 2 goals and then go, right, I think we need to play more defensively. But you know what I mean? It's like if you're going to say this is a really one-size-fits-all thing, fine. But like, you can't do it in the middle. It's only too late. Like, we obviously probably did the right thing against Portugal, kept the score difference down. It was the best we could have hoped for. But you go to Armenia, it's like, okay, now you have to win it. So the 5 at the back, yeah, I guess score difference still counts. We don't want to lose by another 2 goals to Armenia, but like, yeah, I think had 52% of the possession, and like I said, the Aviva was deathly quiet. It was just like you could hear the people whispering in the crowd, like this is shocking stuff.
There's an amazing TikTok that came up on his phone earlier today of some guy at the match. And he's just like panned the camera around. It's in the first half. And like I said, the Aviva is silent. And he just goes, "Come on, Ireland." And literally the people around him turn and look at him. Like, will you shut up, man?
Who's talking? What's going on? Is there something exciting happening behind us? Oh, no, it's not. But yeah, it like, this is then fucking Hallgrimsson. I don't know if he was trolling after the game. He was like, "Yeah, they were our 12th man out there tonight." It was like, no one was be quiet on TV. It must have been like say graveyard in the actual stadium. Yeah, we offered nothing, and then the second half, we didn't offer much really at all. Then either, we were just going to keep it tight, and then we were going to maybe. I think he's probably waiting for like the last 10 minutes. Let's fucking catch them on the counter. When they're pushing on us, that's when we get them. And yeah, but they threw us a lifeline. I mean,
God, it happened again.
We are as good as 10 men of anyone in the world, I would say. If you put 10 men against the Ireland team, any country in the world, on our day, we can compete. And I think that's our sweet spot.
Yeah, we are as good as 10 men, like we said in the Hungary game. You said before we start recording there, in the exact same minute. And just like the Hungary game, just a mad moment where a player just saw red for no reason. This time with a classic, not a headbutt, but a touch of the head. It looks like a headbutt. And you have to think, well, I thought seeing that, because again, all the commentators were like, "Oh, that's disgraceful. He's off. He has to be off." Like, I saw Nick Woltermaid get punched in the head and no one cared. I don't know why that wasn't bigger.
Well, you said it there, Will, because you saw it. The ref didn't see it. You saw it. We all saw it at home. In this case, I think Finn's was on the big screen at the time. Apparently,
yeah,
the whole stadium really saw it. Apparently, yeah, I heard that. She was just randomly panned to Finn's and then a bandaged head. Armenia came over, bam, have some of that. I mean, for no reason, yeah, logically, but he did have a big gash in his head and probably shouldn't have been out there anymore.
When I say no reason, yeah, I mean like in the grand scheme of the game. Yeah, I don't think he had all his faculties.
Yeah, and I think it was. I don't think it was connected. Maybe something else happened, but Finn's was the one who inadvertently dropped the elbow down top of his head and split him open. And like, it's one of those things, and this is just the nature of the game, that people kind of go down for everything. So you never really know what's an injury and what's not. But when he gets up and there's like blood streaming down his face, like fucking prime Chris Benoit, it's like, yeah, this guy needs to go off. But what they do, a bit of cold water, bandage him up. It's like, he is losing a lot of blood there, guys. And then what's he do? He goes and like, rush blood the head because he needed to get it from other parts of his body, I don't know, and just smashes. Well, didn't smash me, he just kind of lightly touched his ass in the head. That's why it's so stupid. It's like, if you're going to fucking actually nut somebody, do some damage, that's one thing. But it's just kind of like an intimidating kind of headbutt.
Squaring
like,
up, yeah.
Well, you're off now. He's going down. Yeah. Now you're off. And they lost the game because of it. Because like, from then on, we got a bit of a foothold in the game. I don't know if you saw he took off Coleman and Ebisele, our two best players, down that wing. When we had possession, they put on Ogbene and Troy Parrott. And everyone's like, "Oh, this guy wants us to lose. This guy wants us to lose." But apparently his reasoning was that they were both on a yellow and that the refs like to eat up the game.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Once they send one person off, which is good reasoning, but also shows how paranoid he left Lisbon. It's like they're going to try to screw us again.
We've got to get more yellows. There's more yellows coming, I know it.
And we did get more yellows in the game. So, I mean, his logic was probably sound on that. And I guess it didn't really matter that much because we did get the goal, but our score difference now, does it come down to score difference or do we have to beat Hungary?
I mean, we'd be doing well for it to come down to goal difference. Do you know what I mean? Like, if we get to a point where goal difference matters, we've done very well, I think.
Well, not ideally, but like the thing is, we could draw with Portugal somehow, but if we lose to Hungary, it's all over.
Exactly. Yeah.
So that's the situation. If we lose to Portugal, sorry. Well, let's game this one out, right? Get the table up.
Are we counting the first Armenia game as a win or no?
No, unfortunately we can't. I would love to, and I already did, and I did for maybe 10 minutes at the end of the Portugal game. But Ireland group, what are we? Group C?
I have no idea. How come AI can show me everything except the table I'm looking for when I look up a World Cup qualifier?
Yeah, okay. Portugal on 10 points. So Portugal need 1 point and they'll go through top three on goal difference probably. Again, unless Hungary absolutely destroys, which is not beyond. So really, if you're Portugal, you look at this Ireland game and going 3 points, lads. Like, we go out, start the best team, 3 points, job done. They'll have to attack a little bit. Seems as they're at home, surely. So they're going to win that game. Hey, look, I'm trying to get what they would logically think. They might be wrong, but so they're going to have to win that, and they'll put them on 13 points. That'll be it. Them done. Okay, we lose maybe 2-0. Brings us down to -3. Hungary then, they play Armenia for a second time. See, we don't want. I guess a draw would be good in that scenario. If Hungary get a draw, that would put them on 6 points.
And then we have to beat Hungary on the last day.
And then if Armenia get a draw, they would go to 4 points and have worse goal difference than us. Then we play Hungary on the last day. Again, say we beat them 1-0. That would put us on 7 points, second in the group. So really, we could lose by 1 million goals to Portugal. What we really want to happen is Hungary draw with Armenia.
Yeah, that's more important. Yeah.
And that's more likely as well. Because, okay, third scenario, Ireland beat Portugal.
Mm-hmm.
Right? That puts us on 7. Hungary beat Armenia. That puts them on 8. We still have to beat Hungary on the last day.
You know what? Knowing what it's like being an Irish fan, that I think is now the most likely scenario, because that is easily the most crushing one.
That would be insane. If somehow Portugal read the table wrong and put out their C team and go, oh shit, I didn't know we had to win this
We beat them 5-0.
We have the best goal difference of the group. And then we lose to Hungary 1-0 and an extra time and we go third. Yeah, so basically Portugal. Well, now if you're Haaland, do you rest people against Portugal?
I don't know, because unfortunately we nearly did get a draw against them, but like I said, the draw doesn't really matter, so I don't know. I also don't know how the playoff system works. Sometimes teams that are in third go, but there's a lot of groups of 5, so I don't know how that works now.
Oh fuck! So like you have your highest loser, I guess, of the 5 team groups.
But yeah, like I highly doubt, even if we finish third with a pretty good goal difference, I'm gonna assume there's gonna be a better placed third place team. Do you know what I mean? With more points, like Wales. Wales have 10 points in their group. Surely they're ahead of us. So
I've heard nothing of the third places. Well, for us, anyways. Maybe in other groups, but I've heard nothing of that. So I think we can just think second or bust at this point. I mean, in theory, will right. We beat Portugal, Hungary. That gives us 6 points. That puts us on 10 points. Hungary lose to Armenia, and Portugal lose to Armenia. Is that right? Armenia play Portugal again.
Armenia beat everyone. Is that?
Armenia beat Portugal and Hungary, and we beat Portugal and Hungary. Then Ireland and Armenia would go first and second, I think, in this scenario.
That would,
No. Armenia couldn't go second. Sorry. But yeah, we could go first, Will. It's anyone's game.
It's all to
anyone's
play
game,
for.
except for Armenia. So Armenia, who need to get a draw, I think are out. I think that's the upshot of this. So we have to get a draw against Portugal, maybe, and they have something to play for. Hungary, we need to draw with Armenia, and Armenia have nothing to play for. That's our chances going into the next month.
Looking good.
The
Looking
third
forward to that.
international incident.
Yeah. Can't wait for that. Well, that game, we did win against Armenia, a rare win. That was one of the 5 teams we've beaten in Euro or World Cup qualifiers at home since Germany, since we beat Germany 10 years ago, I think. Maybe even more. But can you name, Kyle, who those 4 other teams were that we also beat at home? So we've got Armenia. There's 4 others.
Luxembourg?
No.
Well, I knew that we famously lost them recently, but I just thought maybe
You just
another time.
assumed we might have won the other fixture.
Maybe. Andorra?
Andorra, not on my list here now. You got to think
Kosovo?
really, really small. Nope, not there. We might have beaten them away, not at home.
Liechtenstein?
Even smaller. Nope, you got to go even smaller.
Fucking hell. Vatican City over 70s? Who?
Gibraltar. Gibraltar is one. We beat them
Gibraltar.
home and away.
The Rock.
Yeah, we beat them home and away in their weird airport stadium. There's another one. I feel like we play them every single qualifying group.
Oh, Slovakia?
No, Georgia. Remember we were playing them every week, it felt like, for a while?
They would harm us now. They've been to the Euro. That's what Jamscalia. Oh,
Yeah.
God. They would destroy us now.
And then the other two, it's tricky to get. Moldova, we beat. And Bosnia, who I don't remember ever playing Bosnia.
I bet they've never forgotten us, the beating we gave them.
So those are so that, like I said, when you put that list into perspective, and now we're playing Portugal at home next, it'd be shocking if we all of a sudden got a result.
Well, how about this for a statistic? Well, if we're throwing out statistics, the last team we beat by more than 2 goals in a competitive match. Because we were talking about, like, we need to get a second or third goal here against Armenia. And you kind of think, yeah, that makes sense. They're down 10 men. We're professional footballers. The last team we scored more than 1 goal against. A winning margin of more than 1 goal.
There was the famous Scotland game that we missed, but was that a Nations League game maybe?
That was a friendly.
Of course. No, I have no idea then. Gibraltar was a 1-0, I remember.
A lot of them were. Well, it was Saudi Arabia, 2002.
2002, the Damien Duff goal.
No, I just made it up. But the fact that you would even semi-believe that just shows.
I really believe that.
Well, when you think back on our wins, it's like, that was 1-0. That was 1-1. That was 1-1, but it felt like a win. That was 2-1. Like, we don't hammer teams 3-0. We were like, we need to rump the score against these Armenians. Like, this team beat us a few weeks ago. Like, we had to defend resolutely for an entire half and then wait for them to get sent off. And then we struck. So, like, to rump the score, like, I mean, it's going to be tough. But, yeah, I guess shout out to Evan Ferguson. He's run up a pretty nice ratio.
Yep.
Pretty nice KD for Ireland, I would say.
I've got his stats here. He's got 8 goals for Ireland at 21 years of age. And this was the stat that was running when he first kind of burst onto the Irish team. So he's 8 goals at 21. Robbie Keane had 7 goals at the same age and at the same amount of games, I believe.
Well, there you go. You know, it's looking bright for Evan Ferguson. I'm sure he'll have the. If he scored as many goals as Robbie Keane, we'd probably get the 2 more tournaments, which would be pretty good in his lifetime.
That'd be nice, yeah.
You know, that's what Robbie got. Robbie got 2002 and 2016.
Did he? Was he? Yeah, he was, wasn't
he? When I said that, I was like, oh, was he?
That sounds like a long time.
I don't know if he made 2016. God, he only played in 1 tournament, all those goals in 1 tournament. That would be shocking. I know Shane Long was up front, but I feel like Robbie was there on the bench.
Yeah, maybe he was kind of like a token kind of gesture.
Yeah, I don't remember any kind of like Robbie being clapped off at the end. I don't remember like a cheer for Robbie Keane in France, actually, now that I think about it. I don't think he was at 2016.
Yeah. That's a long time. And I don't think like he 2002 was his first year in the squad or anything either. So he would have been playing for
He was young though. I think he was maybe in the late 90s. He kind of broke onto the scene. I wouldn't say he was, because he was still playing with like Aston Villa up until like the mid 2010s. I feel.
Well, look it up.
Because remember he was in MLS and he came back on loan to Aston Villa and he scored an absolute screamer.
Robbie Keane
When did
last
Robbie Keane retire?
Ireland game. His last game for Ireland was a friendly against Oman on August 31st, 2016, which ended in a 4-0 victory for Ireland. Could you imagine?
So that was after the Euros.
August 2016. Yeah. Did Robbie Keane...
Just look up his Wikipedia, man.
I can't be... I'm not doing the Wikipedia.
You're going to get too specific. Just look up Robbie Keane and Google him.
It says, yes, Robbie Keane played in Euro 2016. He was included in the 23-man squad and appearing in matches despite a calf injury scare before the tournament. How many games is he playing? I feel like this AI might be wrong also.
Yeah, I'm going to look it up on Transfermarkt.
According to Sky Sports, he was included in the squad in 2016 for the tournament.
Yeah, kind of like a Jordan Henderson kind of thing.
Yeah.
Although I think he might play a lot this time, Jordan Henderson. UEFA Euro 2016. He played 12 minutes in the first game against Sweden, 1-1. He played 11 minutes against Belgium. That was not as good, 3-0. And then he was on the bench against Italy, on the bench against France.
That's a tough group, by the way.
Yeah, the group of Italy, Belgium, and Sweden, and we got out of it. That's what I mean. It was a good team back then. Like, that's when Seamus Coleman and Robbie Brady and James McLean, like, you might look back at them and go, they're no Damien Duff. It's like, yeah, again, sure, maybe we're getting worse as time goes on, but we're definitely gotten worse. This team is, how many players of this team do you think would make it into the 2016 squad? Like, maybe Evan Ferguson?
Maybe Queeveen, who was goalie in 2016. Randolph?
Actually, Queeveen would have made it. Queeveen definitely made it. Queeveen, Ferguson probably would have made it. This is completely pointless. Going back over, who would have made the team 10 years ago? But yeah, sorry, we're getting sidetracked there. Robbie Keane did have I just don't remember it being about Robbie Keane, I guess, that tournament, which I feel like it maybe would have been about.
I feel like at the time, maybe I remember it wrong, but was it kind of there was a vibe of like, we got to get this old guard out, it's time for the new players to rise up. And maybe that was like Keane was at the tail end of that, where it's like, do we really need to be bringing Robbie Keane as a token for the Euros? Like, he's injured. Do you know what I mean? I
feel 2012 was that. Because like Damien Duff, Robbie Keane, obviously we would still be playing for it 4 years later. But there was, like, at that time, Seamus Coleman, I don't think was brought to the Euros in 2012, which is, because Chap 20 didn't watch the games, so he didn't even know who he was. I think he played John O'Shea right back. And James Coleman was at home. Like, it was mental. This was like Sunderland, John O'Shea, so it was like completely the wrong thing. Anyhow, this is what happens, This is like every Man United fan starts talking about Fergie when after the Man United games, because it's like, well, what do? You talk about the good times,
Yeah, exactly.
There was other international games going on, of course. It could be worse. We could be Sweden, Will.
Oh yeah, I saw a lot of happy hate posters on Twitter. Targeting their two least favorite players, Alexander Isak and Victor Gyokeres.
Yeah, they have those two up front, which, as we've seen, it's sometimes, having two strikers in the same position doesn't always work. It doesn't mean you have double the amount of goals in your team. It might mean that they're, playing in the same spaces. But, sorry, that's Nations League. For a second, I was like, wait, they're top of the group. What are you talking about here? Yeah, they've lost to the likes of Switzerland, who are a decent side. But worse than that, this is very hard to find. Jesus, this is really
Isn't
nice.
it? Isn't it so hard to find just the tables for the World Cup qualifier? They don't come up.
Yeah, no one's clicking on it, so they don't have to optimize it for anybody.
Because all the other countries just know we're qualified.
They've lost twice to Kosovo. Maybe that's why Kosovo's on my mind, because like they're being reported as some kind of bad team. But yeah, they look like they're not going to qualify for the World Cup, which secretly, I'm like, some Robbie Gyokeres, not bad.
That would be good, yeah. Yep.
He'll need to keep his strength to retain the title, of course. Elsewhere, then, stick with Scandinavia. Haaland ripping it up. He, I think, put 5 past Israel.
He also put up a kind of mocking Instagram post then after.
Yeah. Did you see one of the goals where he pushed the centre back into the goalie and he kicked it off him? I mean, he really was having fun out there. You know, it was like he was just bullying them. They're finally putting together their. It feels kind of like Belgium for a while there. Their team they also didn't qualify for 2012, which was arguably when that team was at their absolute best.
This is probably like, I don't think Norway have really sunk to that low yet, where they've had where it's like, but they have Haaland and Odegaard. I know of. Whereas like Belgium they have everyone and they can't get out of the group.
Yeah, they couldn't put together. They did, I think it was 2018 they got to the third place playoff. That was the peak of that goal generation. But yeah, Norway are doing well, and Haaland in particular is doing very well. Again, can't find the game to save my life. Jesus Christ. It happened. It happened. There was goals and he scored them. It was a whole big thing. Yeah, and also, speaking of goals, Nick Voltemade, one of the favourites. And I don't want to, get overzealous, but there's Hall of Fame chatter. That's all I'm saying. There's Hall of Fame chatter.
The people are saying it's being mentioned.
I've seen the forums. I've seen it in the Discords. It's starting. They've ultimated for Hall of Fame. He's a cert. He's going to be first ballot. Look, we'll see. He's got a long career from him. But he scored a goal against Northern Ireland in their group. First goal in 6 games for Ultimate. So exactly. Well, he's avoided the 007 for internationals. And it's a strange one, I guess, because it's like the 007 for like a big transfer coming in is one thing. Start of your country, it depends on the country as well. I mean, you might be the best your country has to offer, but you could be paying, I don't know, Portugal or Hungary. It's not really fair. I was thinking, is there a correlation? Because what we saw from the club game was like, yeah, the best players who go for big money tend to score within the first 7 games.
First 5 games, yeah.
Yeah. If you play 7 teams, there's one team that you're better than, especially if you're going for big money. So it is down to you eventually. So I thought I'm going to look up, international 11s, international 007's. And I thought, maybe I'll take a step further. International World Cup.
Oh, nice.
Because you get the call for whoever. There's plenty of One Cup heroes out there. One cap wonders, I should say. But if you go to World Cup, you've obviously played a bit. There's hype around you. You're being trusted with one of the few spots on here. A lot of players like to be here, but you're being here. Did you go 7 games without a goal or assist at the World Cup? So I've picked 7 players here, Will.
Okay, perfect.
And you're going to have to try and guess which ones are which. Who's 007, who's not. First one, Will, Zlatan Ibrahimovic.
Oh, no way. He definitely scored early. He did not go to 007.
Zlatan Ibrahimovic went to 3 tournaments, didn't score a single goal.
Oh, what? How did I not know that?
Yeah.
That sounds like a famous fact.
I was like, I'm surprised. Like, sure he would have heard that being thrown at him at some point.
Yeah.
But I'd never heard that being used at him. But yeah, this is according to Transfermarkt. Now I don't know their perfect stats. Maybe it's a long troll, but yeah, he went to 2002. He was on the bench, and then he came on in the last game of the group and played a substitute appearance in the remaining group round of 16 game against Senegal. Didn't score. Fair enough, young lad. 2006, that's his World Cup. Starts centre forward in those games. Doesn't get a goal or assist. They go out in the round of 16 again to Germany. Nothing. 2018, not in the squad, not picked, available section. So 2 World Cups, no goals, no assists.
This is going to
007.
This is going to be very difficult because, like, even some of the best players in the world, it's like they played 9 World Cup games.
Well, that's it. Yeah, but to be fair, I tried to pick, I didn't pick the top goal scorer from Saudi Arabia. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's like, didn't score a single fucking goal in the World Cup, did he? Useless. I try to pick, kind of well-known Western footballers, we'll say. Anyway, second on the list, Totti, Will, the King of Rome, the old Evan Ferguson, they call him.
I would imagine he probably got some assists. Yeah, I'm going to say he didn't go 007. I'd say he got an assist or 2.
That is correct, Will. He did not go 007. He played in the 2002 World Cup. I don't think they qualified for 98.
Yeah, I was thinking that. I was like, Okay, they've either won it or didn't go, so it's going to be one of the two.
Yeah, that's the thing with Italy. They're a bit kind of streaky with these World Cups. They're not always at all of them. But yeah, he played against Ecuador in his first game in 2002 and got an assist. So got rid of that straight away. I don't know if people were saying that back in 2002.
He was thinking at the time.
He was ahead of his time. He was ahead of his time with these things, you know. He got one goal ever in World Cup. He got one against Australia in 2006 in round 16. And of course, you know, it's a team game. It's about doing your bit. And he won the World Cup in 2006. So he got 7 assists, one goal in 2 World Cups and won it. So
that's pretty good. I mean, Zlatan didn't score once.
That's it. It's harder than it looks. All right, next on the list, Wayne Rooney. Now, as you know, I know you know that he famously struggled at World Cups, but was it 7 games? That's the real question.
Did he? Do I remember him scoring at a World Cup? 7 games. I'm going to say he did go 007.
120 appearances, 53 goals. You want to say 007 World Cups?
I know he's like the all-time top, or he was a long-time top England goal scorer. But I don't remember him being England being particularly great in World Cups, or him being particularly great in World Cups. Like
that is true. Yeah, it's also about your country as well. You know.
Yeah, I think he did go 007.
That is correct, Will. He played in 2006, of course. Got sent off against Portugal, that famous game. Didn't score assist in that tournament. 2010, another disaster. Didn't have a goal or assist. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 games in World Cups. No goal or assist. Got his first assist against Italy in 2014. Again, they lost 2-1. That's when they famously started on the left wing. Instead of Sturridge up front. And it was like disaster for World Cup. But he got his first assist.
Yeah, so they weren't totally wrong, yeah.
And the next game, he got a goal against Uruguay, which they also lost 2-1 before a 0-0 draw to leave them bottom of the group in 2014, where he played 14 minutes. And that's how he ended his World Cup career. So, yeah. Look, sometimes it doesn't end in a fairy tale. You know, it started off great, and then, you know, it ends in a 40-minute cameo against Costa Rica.
I mean, like, I know he was the top international goal scorer, or top England goal scorer for a long time, but Harry Kane really does not get enough credit for how good he is at tournaments. And he's always scoring, even when they're crap or if he's crap, he generally scores.
Well, that was the whole thing where Wayne Rooney, especially towards the end, he was kind of like dropping deep and trying to do too much. And whereas Harry Kane's like, I am a goal scorer. You know, I know he does drop deep as well, but like say, first thing on the list, get a goal. Then maybe I'll start getting in people's way. You know. But yeah, correct, Will. So that's 1 right, 2 right. Figo, I think he was, not anymore obviously, but I think he was record goal scorer for Portugal at one point. I think I'm right saying that.
I'm gonna assume he got an assist or 2. Maybe not too many goals, but I would imagine any goals they did score, he was probably involved in. So I would say he did not go 007. Correct,
Will. That's also correct. You're bang on. He got an assist in his second game against Poland in 2002. He got another assist against Angola in 2006. He got 2 assists against Iran in 2006. And he got his final assist against Germany in the 3rd place playoff in 2006. Never scored a goal for Portugal at the World Cup, only assists. But he's not 007.
That's all that matters. Yeah, exactly. That's what he thinks every night.
Another visionary. You think, listen, I have a lot of regrets in my career. Real Madrid, Barcelona, sure, but I didn't go
international.
I didn't go 007 World Cups. Here's one, brother. Here's a potential banana skin for you. Karim Benzema.
Didn't play a lot, but he might have.
Think back to how many games he's played. France, another one. They either win it or have a mutiny.
Yeah. I mean, when he did go, I'm going to say he didn't go 007, but I would imagine he's barely played any games in the World Cup. I would say he's probably played like 3 games and maybe scored one of them.
And that's what makes him a top bagsman and you a top podcaster, Will. You're absolutely correct. He didn't play many. As we know, he had off-field issues. Is that probably the most vague way to say it? He was playing and available, but not in the squad for 2010. Probably for the best.
Yeah.
You know, imagine you throw him in with that lot. I mean, it would have been absolute chaos. People would have actually been arrested. But in 2014, he scored 2 goals in his first game against Honduras. He scored a goal against Switzerland and 2 assists in a 5-2 win in the next game. They got the quarterfinals then against Germany, lost 1-0. And he didn't. He wasn't available for selection. I mean, he personally was, but we'll just say he wasn't in the squad. He wasn't in the squad for 2018, 2022, all that stuff. Was it 2022? He won the Ballon d'Or, I think.
There was
around then. So, yeah, this isn't a podcast to get into it, but he was in the squad for any remaining tournament. He played 1 tournament, scored 3 goals and 2 assists. Pretty good KD for him as well. After him, we have I've done 7 of them, of course. Drogba, Didier Drogba.
Were they at every World Cup that he was playing? And do I remember any big Drogba goals in the World Cup? I'm going to say he did go 007. Yeah, I think he did go 007 because I think I would remember a Drogba World Cup goal for some reason. I don't know why.
That's incorrect, Will.
Oh.
He did not go 007. Yeah. These are top bagsmen, all of them, to be fair to them. Record goal scorers, Ballon d'Ors, and Drogba, no difference in that case. Scored his first goal in the World Cup, I think 2006. Yes, 2006 against Argentina. His first game against World Cup was against Argentina. He was captain. You know, scored a goal. They lost 2-1, unfortunately, in that one. The other team in the group, Netherlands, lost 2-1 in that game as well. Beat Serbia and Montenegro 3-2. Which he was suspended from getting 2 yellows in the first 2 battles against Argentina and Netherlands. So that was out of his tournament. But he played in 2010 and 2014, scoring another goal and assists. He's actually scoring only 1 more of the goal against Brazil. So look, he's a big game player.
Big game.
Always has been. He doesn't care about North Korea or Japan or Colombia or Greece. No. Give me Brazil. Give me Argentina. You know, they're the ones I want. So yeah, he also didn't go 007. Played in 3 tournaments. And had a pretty good World Cup record as well. Finally, Will, for the 7th one, Theo Walcott.
Did Theo Walcott score in a World Cup? Were they at... Oh.
Yeah.
When he's in the squad, I can't imagine they were doing too well, which would make me think
he was a good player. Like, you know, he obviously wasn't very likable or very successful, but he
was good, but his era were not good at it, like England. I'm thinking, and I think if they were scoring, I don't know if he'd be involved. No, I think he did not go 007.
Technically, Will. I mean, he's not 007 in the same way that I'm not 007 because
he didn't play in the World Cup.
Played a minute at the World Cup.
I was thinking.
Well, yeah, but I was looking up, I was like, really? He didn't play any of them. Like, obviously 2006, the famous one, he goes as a 16-year-old, you know, Jermaine Defoe gets left at home, doesn't play a minute, they go out. It's like, what the hell was the point of that? What experience did he get? Only being hated by the nation, which is a pretty good experience as an England international. But yeah, 2010 comes along, and maybe it's a backlash to him being brought in 2006. Maybe it's partly his form, whatever. He's not in the squad. He doesn't get brought. 2014, then he had done his cruciate in the 13-14 season, so he's out for that. And by the time 2018 came around, he was completely off form. I think he was at Everton then, maybe even Southampton, I'm not sure. So yeah, he didn't play a minute of the World Cup. He was at one of them, available for another, and injured for a third. So now that I read it out loud, it's actually quite cruel to make fun of him. Because it's pretty tragic. No fault of his own that he's brought to the 2006 World Cup, but that did, I think, kind of ruined his career for the rest of us. It was like put too much pressure on him, you know. So silver lining, he's not 007 in a World Cup. He didn't go at all. Yeah, that's the kind of international break now. It's over. Just take a breath. You know, don't worry. The club game is back. And as long as you're not a Nottingham Forest fan, that's probably a welcome return, I would say. I think the news was this week that Sean Dyche, who I think is I think there's a podcast, I'm pretty sure.
I don't know if he has a podcast. He's definitely doing the podcast rounds, though. I've seen him on a few different ones.
I've seen a lot of clips from him.
Yeah, a lot of clips of him, and he's always kind of like half jokingly angling for jobs on the podcast.
Yeah.
Like he's always like, oh, I could manage X club, like whatever club. He says, yeah, I'd do a job there. I'd have to do it this way. But what he's really saying is, when you sack your manager, get me in. I'll do this.
Well, that seems to be what's going to happen at Nottingham Forest. They seem to be, right, this Iron thing isn't working. Who'd have thunk it? We all make mistakes. Time to move on. Who do we have that could take this position? And Sean Dyche has now slotted into that Big Sam role of, it's not going to be pretty, but I'll keep you up. Which I think it's a bit too soon for that from Nottingham Forest. I think they can, I think they can still turn around, you know?
Yeah, I mean, it's one of the quickest turnarounds I've ever seen between a club going from like finally breaking through and getting into Europe, and look, they shouldn't be in the Europa League. They kind of cheated their way to that, but still they're playing in it.
Hey,
but they would have still been in the Conference League, which is like they're still way up there compared to the seasons before. But yeah, to just throw it all away over an argument and then get Ange in. Okay, that's a disaster. Oh fuck! Now we're spiraling. Like, what? We got to save ourselves before we relegate ourselves. Get Sean Dyche in. It's crazy.
Yeah, stop the rot. It's like you started the rot. This is not.
The rot has only begun.
Yeah, I think it's premature to bring in Sean Dyche at this stage. That would be my feeling on it. That they're not at the Sean Dyche levels yet. I think there's still good enough players there to turn this around.
We said it before. We said it when he got to Everton. It does take years to recover from being a Sean Dyche team. He will keep you up, and like you'll get some results here and there, but it totally changes what your club is. You're a team who's scrapping for draws, and every win is like, yes, 3 points on the table. We desperately needed that. It's tough to come back from that. Whereas Nottingham Forest were very much on the up, a hip new club with a cool manager. Well, that's all over. It feels like.
No, that's if they go for it. This is just a rumor, I suppose. This hasn't happened yet.
This is
Maybe
probably
it's
Sean
one of those
Dyche
ones
putting it out there.
Well, either Sean Dyche or Marinakis or people close to Marinakis himself, and like, let's see what people think of this. And if they're met with furious anger, like I don't know who said that. That was never happening. All right, take something else. Maybe give it to Frank.
Frank is flying it at the moment. I don't know if you've seen that.
Top of the championship. He's back. He was doing the clap crowd punches again. I was like, he's got to stop doing this. He keeps getting carried away.
If Frank finds his way back in the Premier League, I can't believe that. We said it when he left, when he got sacked the last time from Everton. It was just a disaster. We're like, surely we've all seen now how this works out.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think he is a smart person, a smart guy. Obviously, was a very good footballer. Played with a lot of players at Chelsea, a lot of different personalities.
Yeah.
On paper, he has a lot of what you think you would need, as a manager. It's not inconceivable that he would figure it out. He's also quite a kind of a good TV personality as well. So, like say Gerrard always comes across a bit kind of prickly. Yeah. You think, yeah, and Roy Keane, same thing. Yeah, he's funny in a kind of a dry humor way, but you think, Roy, I'm coming to you with a problem.
Yeah.
Am I gonna feel heard by you, Roy? Or is it kind of a top-down approach? I just think when you look at Lampard, yeah, okay, things kind of unraveled a bit at Chelsea, and then Everton was really tough as well for a lot of managers there. But I'm not saying that he's as good as Dave Moyes. Obviously, Dave Moyes has come in and everything seemed great again. But I'm just saying that it's not beyond the realms of possibility that he could improve as a manager.
Yeah.
He could have taken things from the last job and like, oh, actually, maybe I can do that better. It's just that we've never seen it happen before ever.
Yeah. The evidence points to no, but it does make sense in theory, yeah.
I can't think of many managers that like go in and like are a disaster and then over time they actually become better.
Yeah,
Do you know
they
what I mean?
learn
It's
from
like-
their mistakes. It always feels like they get worse as the years goes on.
Yeah, they either go in and they're a good manager or they go in and it's bad and they leave it and they go TV or whatever. But like, yeah, I can't think of many ones who had, like the Chelsea thing was a bit of a disaster. Everton then almost got relegated but stayed up. I and then to come back to country and get them up again, it just would be very surprising. But it could happen, I guess, is all I'm
Yeah.
saying.
I mean, this is like, I do like Nottingham Forest because they're bouncing from no-nonsense Hall of Famer Ange Postecoglou to no-nonsense Hall of Famer Sean Dyche. We're saying get the third no-nonsense Hall of Famer Frank Lampard in. Maybe Nick Vultemaid might find his way there one day.
Because, I'm sick of this abuse I've got in Newcastle. I'm going to a real club, Nottingham Forest, and then we got the whole gang there. Interesting times, I guess, Nottingham Forest. We'll see what happens there. But that's back this weekend, isn't it? The club football. So we'll be covering that next week, Monday, Tuesday, probably Tuesday. Was there anything else we missed?
No, I think that pretty much covers it. No more international incidents for another month, I think it is. And then one last one for Ireland. I can't imagine there'll be a summer of international incidents for them. So this will be the last one for a while.
Last one for Hagrimson. Yeah, I'd say so.
I would say for sure.
There was actually an internal incident, a national incident, I suppose. Gary Neville, see that?
Yeah. Yeah, he angered a lot of people, a lot of the bad people, it felt like.
Do you remember my absolute from a couple of years ago that he's going to cut ties with Sky Sports?
Here it comes.
I like Totti and Figo, I'm ahead of my time. I saw it coming from a mile away. He's going to say, I didn't think he was going to say something
agreeable,
anti-nationalist or whatever the fuck. But I saw there's like 40,000 signatures online for him to be sacked or whatever. I was like, first of all, I don't know if that does anything,
No, I don't think any of those petitions have ever done anything ever.
Or if they're ever real. I just kind of hear there's 40,000. 40,000 exactly, or like give or take 1,000. Are we rounding up, rounding down? I mean, yeah. I haven't heard anything come of that, but I'm just saying, watch this space, Yeah, so we'll be back next week. More football breakdown. Any final thoughts on the Irish national team? The state of the nation?
What are my thoughts on the state of the nation?
As a football team. As a
football team. Yeah, it's crap. It's not good. It's bad to watch, and we're lucky to get a result when we do.
There you have it, folks. Have a great weekend. We'll see you next week. Good luck.
No, honestly, that is nonsense. Nonsense. All nonsense.
They say many garbage things.
You don't know what you're going to get.
Melodrama upon melodrama. This is a total, shameful, disgraceful piece of nonsense.
He was miles off it yesterday.
You'll learn a lot more if you listen rather than talk all the
Plenty
time.
of time, no problem.